There I am. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It is an excellent day to serve an excellent God in and with the spirit of excellence. Good morning, Coach Sherry, Chaplain Sherry, your community pastor Sherry, the unmuted one. I'm the Black woman who grew up in one of the most conservative Black Baptist churches that taught, and I followed, that women ought to keep silent in the church, and certainly women are not to preach. Yet I am the Black woman who reclaimed my voice and who rejected those patriarchal systems and practices that sought to silence me, because I know that God did not create me for silence. So I'm a Black woman who is on a mission to help women just like you, just like I was in, to reclaim their voices. So good morning, reclaimers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good midnight, whatever your case may be. I'm just so excited that we are here on the cusp of a brand new year. So come on in this space. Come on in this space. Now, if by chance this is your first time, good morning, missionary. Good morning. If by chance this is your first time joining me at this time, you're going to see me applying makeup. But please know, this has nothing to do with makeup's tools, tips, or techniques, because it's going to do what it does. And I will determine not perfection, but what's good enough for me. So, good morning on the cusp of January the 1st, 2026. Do y'all remember back in the day, Virginia, you may remember when every year, there was a slogan, of course, in 2020, I think that's when it really stopped, because we saw that 2020 did not give us um, um, 2020 vision, right? We had 2020 vision, nah. But it was things like, I will be free in 83, right? Uh, and then in 2006, good morning, evangelist. It was all would be fixed in 2006. How did that work out for us? And now here we are on the cusp of 2026. And I want to suggest, let us not go into 2026 with our eyes closed, because all will not be fixed in 2026. I might as well we ought to start. My grandma say that the way that you start will help you with a good ending. So we might as well start with some truth telling, that all will not be fixed in 2026. And in many cases, it's going to get worse. In many cases, it's going to get worse. So how do we survive it? How do we hold on to the promise that's in Isaiah 43, that God says, I'm going to do a new thing? What is it? What is it going to take for us to navigate the unfavorable circumstances internally and externally? This morning, I want to suggest, if we're going to hold on to the promises, if we are going to walk with God in this new thing, we've already established that we've got to pivot. We've already established that we're going to have to do something different. So we've already decided. We've already made up our minds that we're going to flow the way God flows, which means that we've got to change our directions. We've got to change our methods because we got new information. Now, all the information may not be clear, but the information that we have is that God is doing something new. So the text says, do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? So this morning I want to talk about, because we've mentioned it earlier this week, that there are some things that served us well in the past and who we were at the time, but they won't necessarily serve us going forward. And it's going to require that we do something different. So what we want to talk about this morning is what to leave behind as we move forward when God calls us for a pivot. What are we to leave behind, and what are we to take forward with us? And so each person is going to have to individually make that call. It's an individual thing. You're going to make some individual decisions, but just know that your individual decision is going to affect the whole. Because in 2026, it's going to require us to be in community with each other. Now, that's a whole pivot that some people are going to have to make, because we have been shaped, and especially women, is that you can't trust other women. And I want to put that lie to death. So in this pivot, I want to help us to know, or to be able to assess, what to leave and what to take. And I want to give you some common themes, and you can go and deal with them the way you need to. Here's some big pictures. God does not ask us to erase our past. God is not asking us to have amnesia. God is not erasing our past from us. Let's get that straight. That God is not asking us, nor is God erasing our past. God asks us, this is the ask, to let the last or the past seasons, to not let the past tramp us and limit our future possibilities. I'll say that again. God is not asking us to forget our past. What God is asking and what this pivot is going to require is that we don't get so stuck in the past that we can't move forward. Ooh, that we do not get so stuck in the past that we can't move forward. And here's where discernment comes in. Discernment will allow us to honor what was without being imprisoned in it. I'll say that again. That discernment is going to be key in honoring what was, honoring the traditions, honoring the memories without being imprisoned by it. I want to argue this morning that you don't have to have amnesia, but you better have discernment. You better have something, some principles to assess what should go and what should stay. And here's the metric. Here's the metric. Here's how I'm going to help us this morning. Here's how I'm going to help you this morning. Here's how we're going to work it this morning. Here's what to leave behind. Anything that restricts your freedom or demands your silence. Anything that restricts or demands your silence, that seeks to control you and and that seeks to kill, steal, and destroy, that you want to leave behind. Good morning. If you're just joining me, we're talking about moving into the new year is going to require discernment. God says, I'm going to do a new thing. Forget the former things. God is not asking that we erase everything from the past. But God is saying that you need to know what to take and what to leave. And the things that did not serve you well, the things that sought to restrict you or to demand your silence or to control you, that you want to leave behind. Here's another thing. What to leave behind? Relationships or systems that were unhealthy, or unhealthy relationships or systems. Unhealthy relationships we want to leave behind if we are going to move with God. It did not serve you well. It was death dealing and not life giving. You want to leave that relationship behind. These are the things you want to. I'm giving you some tools to help you discern what to leave behind. If you're going to move the way God is moving now, it's going to require you to leave behind anything that restricts you, anything that enslaves you, whether that is your internal thoughts, because we have internalized oppression. You're going to leave behind unhealthy relationships or systems or practices that fracture you and the community. Because even though we are individuals, we are part of the whole. We are leaving behind survival strategies that we kept just to make it through the day, to keep peace, to keep other people comfortable. And we pick those things up, excuse me, as a means of survival, as a means of protection. If I just don't say anything, then he won't. If I keep the peace, then they won't. What served as protection is really wearing you down. And so we want to leave that behind. So, Sharon, if these are the things that I'm to leave behind, what am I to take forward? The first thing is the wisdom that you gain through the experience, but not the wounds. The unhealthy relationships you're leaving behind, but the wisdom and the experience that you and the lessons that you learn, you want to take that forward. Because I guarantee you that in this new, there are going to be some unfavorable circumstances that's going to wound. So no part of your journey, and I need to keep moving. No part of the journey will be wasted. No part of the journey will be wasted. So you carry the wisdom and the lessons from the situation. I love this minted foundation. It just kind of rolls on real good. So you're going to take the wisdom that you gain through experiences. Another thing you're going to take forward are the relationships rooted in mutuality and care. Relationships that were life-giving. Relationships that were healthy, because we are made for community. We are made for each other. So we're not going to live in isolation, but we're just going to know who's to go and who's to stay. In this new season, we're going to bring forth practices that restore our body, our minds, and our spirit. Practices that restore, practices that allows us to be whole. So, and the final thing I want to say is, moving forward, you want to bring your voice. You want to bring your voice. You want to bring your whole self. And you want to do so with clarity, with courage, and conviction. So we're moving forward with wisdom. We're moving forward with healthy relationships. We're moving forward with practices that restore. And we're moving forward with our voice. And I'm not just talking about with our the audible sounds from our mouth, because we do that all the time. But I'm talking about your authentic self. I'm talking about fully aligned mind, body, and soul. So here's some questions. Here's some questions. Here's some questions, and I'm out. Excuse me. Here's some questions to help us. And this is your assessment tool. Does this align with liberation or threaten it? Now, we talk about Jesus came to give life and life more abundantly, but then we live under the guise of restriction. We say that God, brings us freedom and liberation, but we have all these rules and practices that keep people in bondage. So we're going to be free or not. So ask yourself, does this align with liberation or threaten it? Here's another one. And you're taking your whatever it is, the people, places, and things. This person, place, or thing, does it deepen community or does it isolate? Does this person, place, or thing align with liberation or does it threaten it? In other words, a clear cut way to know what to keep or delete is asked, does this person, place, or thing liberate or enslave? Now, many people are going to get stuck. And although they want to move forward and they want to participate in this new thing that God is doing, they cannot. Because the person, place, or thing may be grandma. Because the person, place, or thing may be the teachings of the church. Maybe it's the traditions that was passed down in the family. And if I give those up, I'm saying that grandma was wrong. If I give those up, I'm dishonoring the past. If you are going to move forward intentionally and strategically, you've got to discern what to leave behind and what to carry forth. Over this next, as we're crossing over, as this day proceeds and we're getting, and the clock strike midnight, and you're doing whatever you're doing, I want you to think about it. Every move, every person, everything, every place. Does it liberate or does it restrict? Now, listen, I know this is much easier said than done. I have sense enough to know that. It did not happen overnight for me. This teaching, this conversation is an invitation not just to think about it, not just to know about it, but to be about it, to act. I've created this 3-day Unmute My Life challenge as a guided journey. I don't want to just throw you out there, but to walk with you, to journey with you, to journey with women who are ready to release silence, to reclaim their voice, and to pivot with purpose. During these 3 days, we're going to be in conversation. We're going to be teaching. We're going to be involved in some guided reflections. We're going to provide practical tools. 3 days, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, January 6th, 7th, and 8th. Because let me know, let me say this, if you don't start early, time waits for no one. And before you know it, we're going to be December 31st, 2026. And we would have been in the same position that we are because we failed to take action. Listen, the registration link is in the comment section and you can see it across the screen. $27. My God, that's the cost, but it ain't the value. Oh my God, I'll teach on that later. $27 is the cost, but it ain't the value. Because the value far surpasses rubies. Or if you want the workbook, it's the registration is $47. Listen, here's our closing prayer. And if you've come in late or you've come by replay, can you like, share, and comment and engage? Here's our closing prayer. God of new paths, grant us discernment to release what no longer aligns with who we are becoming. As you do a new thing, let us move with clarity, with courage, and peace. Amen and Ashe. Listen, may God be with you until we meet again. May all be well.